Hello everyone, this is Harminder Suri from JetSet Immigration. In this video, I'm going to talk about the documents required for a visitor visa for Canada. A lot of times people ask me, Harminder, what are the most important documents required for a success in a visitor visa? And while there are a lot of documents required for the application of a visitor visa, there are some important documents without which your application could be refused. So let's take a look at those important documents. Now, before I tell you what are the documents required, let me tell you what are the reasons due to which an application gets refused. Well, an application gets refused due to three primary reasons, and the number one reason is your financials. Sometimes, or most of the times, the visa officer is not satisfied that you have enough funds in your bank account or with you to be able to travel to Canada. Canada is a very expensive country. So if you are not satisfying the visa officer in terms of the amount of money you have in your bank account, then the chances of your rejection could be really high. The second reason is your travel history. If you haven't traveled to any other country before, then there are high chances that the application could get refused. Doesn't mean that people who have never traveled before never get approved for a visitor visa. They do get approved, but there are other documents, other supporting documents that help them get the visa. But if you do not have very strong documents, other supporting documents they're not very strong, then not having a travel history could have a negative impact on your application. The reason they want you to have a travel history is, it's just like a bank. Now, before a bank lends you the money, it wants to know what your credit history is. It wants to see how you're dealing with other banks. And if you have an account with another bank, they want to see how you have used their credit cards and or loans. So if you have had a good credit history with the other bank, then the bank that you're applying credit with would not have any hesitation in offering you credit. So the same applies for the visa officer who is looking at your visitor visa application. So they want to see that if you've traveled to any other country like Europe or any Western country or the US, and if you were granted a visa, did you fulfill the visa requirements? As in, did you come back within the time that you were allotted? So if you have done that, then they can believe that you will not overstay in Canada. You will come for whatever duration you had asked for, and you will leave Canada by that time. So if you have a travel history, that definitely has a good impact on your application. The third important reason is your ties in the country you're coming from and your ties in Canada. Now, talking about the ties in the country you're coming from. Ties means what is the reason that you would want to go back to your country? Do you have family members, important family members that would make you come back to the country? For example, if you're parents and you're not bringing your kids to Canada, both the parents are trying to come to Canada, then there could be high chances of an approval because you have your kids in your country and you would want to go back to your country because of the kids. Similarly, if you have parents that you're looking after, your parents are dependent on you, they're old, and there's no one else that can look after your parents, that's a strong tie in your country. If you have a business, if you have a lot of property in your name, that would bring you back to your country. So this is what the visa officer wants to know. What is it that will bring you back to your own country? And talking about ties in Canada, so if they want to know what is the reason, what is the purpose of your visit. Do you know someone in Canada? If you come to Canada, where would you be staying? Are you just coming here for a visit? If you're coming for a visit, make sure you have the itinerary booked. You should have your hotel reservations. You should get your travel insurance. You should get your air tickets booked. So these are all the things that they want to know. They want to see that you have planned before you come to Canada. So these are the three main reasons why most of the applications get refused. So now let's talk about the documents that are required. Talking about financials. For financials, you need at least $10,000 to $15,000 in your bank account in the last 6 months. They want it for 4 months, but it's always good to give them a statement of the last 6 months, and you should have an average of $10,000 sitting in your bank account in the last 6 months. Well, sometimes you may not have that big of an amount, so let's say you have like $5,000 to $6,000 in the bank account. Well, that's okay. But do you have any other documents, like do you have an FD, a fixed deposit, or do you have any other form of liquid cash that you can show a documented proof for to the visa officer? Then they're going to be satisfied with that as well. So basically, the visa officer wants to know that you will be able to bear your own expenses, and that you're not going to become a burden on the person who's sponsoring you or on the government of Canada. So as long as they are satisfied that you have enough funds, they would not have any problems with the financial part. Now, the second important document is your invitation letter. In the invitation letter, is usually sent by the person you're visiting. If you know someone who's inviting you in Canada, then you need to attach an invitation letter, and the invitation letter should clearly specify where you'll be staying, who is inviting you, and how many members they have in the family, and where will you be staying, where will they be taking you. So basically, what are your plans after arriving in Canada? Well, another important document required is the purpose of visit. The purpose of visit is a letter written by you. The invitation letter is written by the person who's inviting you, and the purpose of visit letter is written by you, specifying why exactly are you visiting Canada. Are you visiting Canada for a wedding, or are you just visiting for a vacation? Whatever the reason is, you need to clearly specify, and along with that, you need to mention your itinerary, as in what are the places you'll be visiting and how long you'll be staying there. So very clearly specify your purpose in that letter. Another important document is your travel history. So if you have traveled to other countries, make sure you attach the copies of all the pages on the passport that have been stamped. And the documents that you need from the person who's sponsoring you are their bank statement, if they're willing to give you that, and their pay stubs. It's good to attach these financial statements, because the visa officer wants to be satisfied that, should you run out of money, you have someone in Canada that you can borrow money from. And the other document, of course, is the invitation letter from the person inviting you, and their, of course, their status in Canada. So if they are a permanent resident or a citizen, you might want to get a copy of their passport or their PR card. If they're a student, then they can give you the copy of their student visa or their enrollment letter from the college. So there's a lot of other documents that are required, but overall, these are the most important documents that are required for a success in visitor visa application. And if you need any help with filing the visitor visa application, you can feel free to call JetSet Immigration at the number below, and our team will be happy to help you with that. Thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe for more informative videos, and I'll see you again with another video.